there, Santa Sue. Welcome to your very own personal television program.
KSSH News at noon. I'm Guillermo Rodriguez-Rivas.
And I'm Cami Lippert. It's the beginning of February, and our fellow high school students are eager to take part in solving the issues of the world.
And the first step is making ourselves heard by our local representatives.
Hey Santa Sue, Hunter Stevenson here. I had the opportunity to sit down on this year's Simi Valley Youth Town Hall, where you asked questions to a panel of civic leaders. Let's see highlights from that.
What can I do to combat online bullying?
Use social media. Use it for the good. You can create your own groups to say, look, we stand up against people who want to ridicule us for being involved in this activity, or how we look, or what we're involved with.
Having a sense of who you are, and being proud of who you are, because we're all God's creatures and we're all different. And we bring to the table different things, okay? And, you know, the people that are critical are going to be critical no matter what you do. It's just the way it is, because they're negative, right? It's how you deal with it that's important.
Where can I go to get out of the house and see me?
We have over 50 parks that we handle in the community of Simi Valley and Oak Park. We have 80 trails that you can walk. And we have over 6,000 acres of open space. I think you have a little bit of area to get out, don't you?
Will we ever have a class that teaches us how to pay our taxes?
How we fit it into your course schedules with a required list of graduation requirements and state requirements is the difficult part. So likely what we would want to be doing is looking at our current economics class, which is a state requirement, and how do we build in those kind of basic financial skills into that course.
Back to you in the studio.
These two teams made it to the final showdown.
Hey Santa Sue, I'm Jack Wolfson, an avid Denver Broncos fan, here with Lee Ross, a Carolina Panthers fan. Now both of our teams have made it to the Super Bowl, so we're going to debate on three phases of the game: offense, defense, and coaching.
The Panthers' offense is the best offense in the NFL. They have Cam Newton, the future MVP, Greg Olsen, who's a really good tight end, decent wide receivers, and a really good running back. And besides, your quarterbacks are really old.
Peyton Manning may be old, but he holds every statistical record for a quarterback in the history of the NFL. And he still has some talent, and he's better than most quarterbacks. We also have Demaryius Thomas, who's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. And on top of that, we have a pretty good left guard in Evan Mathis, and a great running game with C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman.
The point goes to the Panthers offense. Now, Broncos defense versus Panthers defense.
The Denver Broncos have the #1 defense in the NFL. They were #1 against the pass and #3 against the rush. They have Von Miller, who just came off one of the greatest defensive performances of any player ever in the playoffs. They also have Malik Jackson, Derek Wolfe, and DeMarcus Ware, who's going to make it really hard for Cam Newton to have a good game. On top of that, they have an amazing secondary featuring Chris Harris Jr. and Aqib Talib. And on top of that, the Carolina defense struggles to rush the passer late in games when it matters.
I know the Broncos are the #1 team, but the #2 team right behind them is the Panthers. And the Panthers have one of the best defenses, led by Josh Norman and Luke Kuechly. They're great in cover 2, they run it a lot, and they can rush the quarterback, at least for the first half, like not a lot of people can.
The point goes to the Broncos defense. Now, Broncos coaches versus Panthers coaches.
So Gary Kubiak, your coach, has a losing record in the playoffs.
Kubiak may have a losing record in the playoffs as a head coach, but he's coached many Super Bowls as an offensive coordinator in the 90s. Also, Ron Rivera's lost the Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator to Peyton Manning. And on top of that, Wade Phillips is one of the greatest defensive coordinators of our time.
Nobody gets the point for coaching.
Well, it looks like it's a wash, so it's time for our final predictions. I think the Broncos are going to win 20-17.
I think the Panthers are going to win 30-10.
Back to you in the studio.
Oh, man, I am so excited for the Super Bowl this year.
The Panthers, the Broncos, hey, our team is hitting the field too.
Yeah, go Akadeka!
The Real Deal Academic Decathlon competition is happening this Saturday at Pacifica High School in Oxnard. We'll be competing against schools throughout the entire Ventura County, and the top schools will then compete in the state competition to eventually move on to the national competition. The competition lasts from about 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. for my academic decathlon team, but it's open to the public from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and we'd love to have anybody come and support us. We've been preparing now for about 5 to 6 months. We've worked really, really hard, studying packets every week, preparing speeches, practicing interviews, and my students are ready, and we're ready to have a great year.
It's the second semester, and I'm getting hungry.
Here comes senior dinner.
Where's Troy and Chad?
They're at senior dinner, Coach.
Senior dinner, what's that?
Seniors only, MUR, Red Barbecue's catering. You signed the form.
That's February 25th.
Sorry, Coach. We're in tension with Miss Darvis. But senior dinner sounds great.
It does. Seniors, this next story is not about you.
Here's Morgan Roberts with the news about next year's registration.
Hi, Santa Sue. I'm Morgan Roberts here with Counselor Miss McMahon to talk about registration.
Registration starts February 10th with sophomores' presentation in TAP, and the other grades will follow after that.
How does registration work?
So what happens is the counselors present to your class in TAP, and then you take your registration form home, discuss it with your parents, get any teacher signatures or recommendations that you need, and then we meet with you one-on-one based on your English class afterwards.
Is there any other information that students need to be prepared for?
Yes, there's lots of information for students to learn, so please be here. Please don't be absent on our presentations in TAP or your registration one-on-one. There are new classes being offered, so listen in TAP and be proactive. Communicate with your teachers, let us know, and let them know what you want. Make sure you get all your recommendations so that you're ready and prepared when you meet with us one-on-one.
Back to you in the studio.
The next story will knock your socks off. It's that time of the year again.
Time to pick next year's school leaders.
A person's a person, no matter how small.
Maddie McCobb here, and there's something crazy sweeping across this campus. They're calling it Rhymefluenza.
This dude named Michael used to ride motorcycles.
Kyle, stop.
I wish I could. I know I should.
I'm playing the keys in all these trees. She just sneezed.
It's your fault.
Assault! Why are we rhyming? We have such bad timing!
Why is this happening to me?
Don't you see? It's because of Seussical on the 19th and 20th of February.
The world is so dark, just like my heart.
That didn't rhyme.
We've won! I thought it would never be done! No!
Learning about different cultures helps us understand our world and its people.
That's why Santa Sue has International Week.
Hey Santa Sue, Kristen Ventura here, and this year for International Week.
Billy Hayes here. Are you ready to be a part of the biggest performance Santa Susana has to offer? Then head by Madame Wartime's room February 10th after school. In just one easy step, you can audition to be a singer, a dancer, a comedian, and anything but the ShamWow guy. All you gotta do is click my face.
As a converted middle school, our library is pretty small.
And plans to enlarge it have not yet materialized.
Hey there, Santa Sue. Selena Driver here. All the stories in every library can be put on this device, which is why our school's plan to enlarge in our library was canceled. Let's talk with our former principal and now school superintendent, Dr. Jason Poplinski for more.
So over 5 years ago, when I became the principal of Santa Susana High School, there was a project on the bond books to redo the main office, which would have included an expansion of the library. At that time, I was able to work with the bond to reallocate those funds to the classrooms. It was my belief then, and still is, that the resources were better served redoing the classroom projects. A library expansion, I'm sure, would have been a great project for the library as well. But I also think that the use of a library and the physical space of a library is going to be changing. I don't know that we'll be housing as many books in the future because I think the use of a library, particularly at a high school, will become more and more digital. As nice as it would have been to expand the library project, I think the decision to put those resources into the classrooms was the right thing to do by students and staff here at Santa Sue.
Oh, well, several years ago, we were going to move into the 600 building. We were going to take the entire 600 building minus the black box, and we were going to have this big, beautiful library, which would have been nice. But then funds ran short, and so they were going to expand by knocking out the walls that are in the hallway and taking over that area and expanding the whole library that way. But then instead what we did was we invested in all the classroom technology. Back to you in the studio.
Up next is a Santa Sue alumni who won a plethora of scholarships last year.
And she's back to give us a couple of tips.
Do you need money for college? Well, she certainly doesn't. I am Camille Lippert here to tell you one woman's story about how she defied all the odds.
I got over $75,000 in scholarships, plus a trip to Washington, D.C. for a week. And I got to meet Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, Tom Selleck, Oprah Winfrey. We got a laptop, backpacks, an iPad, everything. It's a huge deal. I found these online. You just search up like scholarships, then it'll pop up. So I got scholarships from the Ronald McDonald Asia Pacific Scholarship, the Elks Lodge, from the UC Berkeley Alumni Association, the Emblem Club, the Asian Pacific Islander, from the Horatio Alger National Association. My advice for seniors is to have an essay written out already, and so you can just like tweak it and copy and paste it and use it for the next scholarship that you apply for. Don't procrastinate, like do it early and get it on time. And for you underclassmen, for a lot of the scholarships, they want to see community service, a good GPA, working, a good SAT scores. You want to have all those in your criteria.
I have something to confess.
You can trust me.
The next story is my favorite.
Me too.
Valentine's Day, a day of romantic expectations, but you don't always get what you expect. Expectation number 1, happy couples, healthy relationships, hand-holding. Then reality hits and you're forever alone. Expectation number 2, an I love you text from Bay, heart, heart, heart. Reality, it's your mom. Expectation number 3, a flower and sophomore Valentine's gram. Reality, oh, look, you got one. Go you, yay! Make your Valentine's expectations a reality. Buy a gram today.
And that's the way it is.
February 4th, 2016.
Have a superfluous day, Santa Sue. Oh, this one?
Yeah, and then like arm up. What is you love me, teleprompter? You're welcome. These bistro teams. My life is a lie. Don't worry.
Let's practice.
I learned yesterday that there's a Smash Mouth cover of Under Pressure.
Under pressure.
Under pressure, pushing down on me, pushing down on you. No man asked for. Under pressure. Oh.